Hi friends, it's Anne here, and today's video is my finale for my Pan That palette for 2021. So yes, we finally made it to the end, and let's get straight into it. So the palette I've been working on all year is the BH Cosmetics Carly Bible palette, the Deluxe Edition palette. We had some major movement. This was a good month. So, finished this whole row, yay! So these two I'd repressed, and I think I finished these pretty early in December. And then these two, which were like the last remaining holdouts for hitting pan, I hit pan on. There is pan there. It's tiny pan. But yeah, I hit pan on these two. I think it was like the second week of December, and early. Again, it was early in the month. So yay, I hit pan on all the eyeshadows at the top, which is what I was really trying to achieve. I was hoping to use these a bit more. You can still see the embossing on these bottom ones, but I did use this one quite a bit though. There is a good dip in there. So really happy overall with this. I'll be honest, once I hit pan on these two, I kind of started hopefully you can't hear the person vacuuming. I started kind of weaning away from this. This pan's a lot bigger too, I think. I use this quite a bit, and this one too. So, as I mentioned in my last videos, I'm gonna depot some of these, not everything, but I am gonna depot a few of my favorite things in here. There's some shadows that I can finish out, like for sure. I really like this one right here, and I can finish it. So that will either come back in a future project pan, or I'll just casually finish it at some point, but I do wanna depot that shade. And like this shade down here is really unique. I want to depot that one. Not a whole lot others out of this, I think. Like maybe this one for sure. But yeah, overall, really happy with this. I'm going to do like a montage, a full year of like where I started to where we ended up. But I'm going to do that after we talk about this palette. So this is the face palette I've been using all year. This is the IBUI Highlight and Contour palette. Again, I was smart and hid the one shade that I'm using in my project pan. And yeah, it looks pretty good. Again, no full pans, like nothing's really majorly changed on this, but I'm happy. Hopefully that vacuuming is not really loud. Okay, I think the vacuuming is stopped or far enough away now that it's not interrupting the video. I also just had like a sneeze attack, so I'm hoping I look okay. And I realized that my camera settings were wrong. I did a little photo shoot with Harley, and so I was playing with the settings. So if I was looking a little washed out earlier and I look different now, that's what happened. So I was talking about this. So I'm happy with the progress that I made on this. I didn't hit any full new pans, but obviously I have pans on these two, and they are definitely bigger than they were last month. I've already talked about, like, I'm good with this palette. I'm done. It's gonna leave. Obviously I still have to update on my regular project pan on the bronzer in here. I'm contemplating depotting this contour. I don't mind it. I did really like this contour. I've talked about this. I'm not a big contour person. I was mostly just using the contour to use the contour. But I'm thinking about my collection, and I'm not sure. I think I have one other shade that's a contour shade from the NYX palette that's like really dark, much darker than this. So I don't really think I have anything else like this, and it might be nice to just have this for when I feel like contouring. Again, it could come back in a future project pan to finish it up. But yeah, that's the only thing I'm thinking about depotting or keeping. The rest of it, I'm okay with saying goodbye. It's fine. I have enough face powders that I'm not too worried. And I know I would never use this one. It's yellow based, and I have cool skin tone, which I've talked about a million times, so it just doesn't work for me. So yeah, let's do the montage of photos. So I'll put up all the photos from the beginning of the year for my eyeshadow palette, and then I'll follow up with a montage of the face palette photos. And then, because I feel like this is going to be a pretty short video, I think I've decided on my palettes for next year. So sneak peek, we'll do an intro for the palettes that I'm going to use for my Pan That palette for 2022. It's almost here, guys. So now let's introduce what my palette for next year is going to be. I might as well get a head start on it. Like I said, I've kind of mentally, I think, closed out the Carly Bible palette. I might use it a few more times, but not enough to really see any progress. I also forgot to mention that I stopped weighing those like at the beginning because it just was not working out. But I am weighing this in my regular project pan, so I will give an update on what this was at the beginning of the year just to see how much this one had changed. Without further ado, my palette that I've picked for 2022 is the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette. This is going to be interesting. So I was playing with a few different palettes trying to figure out which one I wanted to use. To be honest, there are a couple of newer palettes that I think I want to use, but I knew I wanted to stick to something that was a bit older in my collection, and this is pretty much the oldest mid to high end palette I have. I feel like this palette is like a gateway drug to like makeup, especially like the mid to high end. Like for a lot of people, this was like their first real palette, like first non-drugstore palette. I didn't buy this like the first go around, so this is old but not super old. So this one isn't as old as some people's. Like I actually have the names on this one. I think I got this in 2016. Could have been end of 2015, but I think it was 2016 I bought this. Not 100% sure. I think I tried looking at my Sephora orders recently, and it looks like they only go as far back as 2017. I need to just double check, but it looks like they kind of got rid of some of the older stuff. I couldn't go any further back than that, and I'm pretty sure I could before. So yeah, I've played with this a few times to make sure that this is the one I want to do. I know this is going to be hard because these are really hard pressed, finely milled type powders. So they're really slow going. So this is going to be more of a last hurrah for this palette. I definitely feel comfortable decluttering this at the end of this year. I feel like I've been playing with this palette. I even think I said this last year when I was playing with this palette. I feel like the quality is not, I don't know if the quality is degraded because it's older or we've just had so many new and different kinds of eyeshadows now that this is just not great anymore, because this was like, you know, top shelf when it first came out. Everybody loved this. I love this. The one thing I don't like about this is you can kind of see there's some colors here like this one, and the green over here. No, yes, that is green. Everything just turns out brown. It really doesn't, there's not a whole lot of color. Like even this color, it doesn't really turn out like much of a color on the eyes. So everything's gonna be brown when I use this, which is fine. I think it's gonna be a fine, easy, neutral palette to work with. The only shade that I have a pretty good dip in is this shade right here, which is Creme Brulee. Like that's my holy grail shade. I love that shade. Speaking of which, that is the eyeshadow I have on my eyes today. So I have Creme Brulee, Hazelnut, and no, Creme Brulee, the names are on the top. I read that backwards. Marzipan. Marzipan is the shade that I have a pretty good dip in, and it's the lovely shade that I like. And I have Marzipan, Salted Caramel, and Hazelnut on my eyes today. So we're gonna see how this goes. If I'm really struggling or I'm really fed up with this, I can see myself, you know, maybe taking a break from this in the summer and using another palette for a little while, for maybe 3 months, and then bringing this back at the end of the year. But I want to kind of stick with it and see how far I can go. I'm not going to fuss or stress too much about finishing any of these shadows. It'll be nice to hit pan on a few. I'm kind of targeting, like, I think white chocolate, marzipan, salted caramel, milk chocolate, hazelnut. I feel like these ones over here I can probably hit pan on. I might be able to hit pan on this one. I do really like Champagne Truffle. I was just swatching this earlier and I was like, man, that is such a really nice shade. It's really nice. So yeah, I'll put in some swatches of this palette as well so you can see the swatches. It's, again, pretty neutral, pretty monotone, but I feel like that's good for project panning for me because it makes it easier to use and easier to combine this with using other palettes. So that's something I'm going to do. I'm not doing it right now, so I am going to do a second intro, do a proper intro of my Pan That palette for next year, because I'm going to do a bit of a palette roulette type thing, kind of what I did a couple of years ago. I think I did that a couple of years ago. I know I was picking palettes to use every month, And so I want to do that again in conjunction with panning this. And then again, I also want to do a face palette. This I had picked a while ago. I kind of knew this was it. This was the one we're going with. And it's the, sorry, big reflections there. Let's go up to there. Hourglass Ambient. I'm trying not to touch the front because fingerprint city. Ambient Lighting Edit Volume 4. I'm reading this upside down because the text is written backwards from when the way it opens. Anyway, I bought this in October of 2018. There we go. There we go. Let's just open it up. And when you look at it, it looks like pretty pristine. Like there's not even, the only shade that maybe has a bit of a dip is this one, which is like the finishing powder. It's the finishing powder in dim light. It looks basically like it did when I bought it. I have used it, just not a whole lot. I kind of baby this palette because it was expensive. It was a very pricey palette. I really like this though. Like it's a really, really nice palette. So I am looking forward to like, let's just get on with it. Let's use it. It's fancy and there's no reason for saving it. It's not like I'm going anywhere. I haven't gone anywhere in the last 2 years. Let's hope 2022 is different. I really want to go on vacation next year. Had to postpone a trip to Italy that we'd planned in 2020, now twice. So hopefully we can go. So yeah, I'm really excited to use this. Again, I'm probably going to focus, I see myself more focusing on this top row. Probably, I just stuck my finger in that. The bronzer, I probably should get through quite a bit of that. The blushes, I'm not going to worry about too much. We already know how the Tarte palette went. So, and I probably will incorporate blushes into other projects, like single blushes. So I feel like these can be in competition. Actually, this blush has a bit of a dip compared to this one. But yeah, like there's not, like I got a long way to go with this, but they are small. So I'm hoping, I know I've finished a dim light before, like a full size. So I'm hoping I can at least finish like this one. And yeah, like I'll keep it, like whatever I don't finish, I'm keeping this palette. Because again, I really, really enjoy it. Like this will be a palette that I will like eventually aim to finish all of it. The only shade I can see myself not finishing is this blush maybe. Because I'm not sure I really love that blush as much as I like this one. But yeah, that's the face palette. So again, I'll put in some swatches of what these look like. I've done a whole video actually on this. I had swatches. I did a full face look, so I'll link that down below. I'm pretty sure I did that like in October of 2018. So apologies if it's a really, pardon my language, shitty video. Probably, I'm guessing the audio is going to be real bad. My audio was really bad the first year or so of my channel. So anyway, that's my wrap up of my Pan That palette for 2021, and then a quick little intro of my 2022 palette. Again, like I said, I'm going to do a more proper intro in 2022 when I pick my roulette palettes as well. And yeah, I hope you like this video. I hope you like this series. I really enjoy doing a Pan That palette. It's taken me a while to figure out how to enjoy doing it because it is challenging. I do like seeing the progress of like this palette. Again, I've accepted and I know like the first 6 months go real slow, but things start to really pick up. Like September, October, I feel like that's when things start to really pick up. You really do see the difference from where you started. It's just, you got to stick with it. That's like my biggest piece of advice is just stick with it. It's totally okay to not see a lot of progress near the beginning of the year. You're in for the long haul with a Pan That palette. Anyway, I hope you liked this video. If you did, feel free to give it a little thumbs up down below. And if you haven't already, I would love it if you subscribe to my channel here in Toronto, Canada. I hope you're doing well, and I'll see you sometime soon. Bye.